We have another giant in the field, Mr. Martin Peterson from Denmark. And we had Martin present last year. He was phenomenal. And he does something called Soul Key Protocol, which he developed. So without further ado, let's give it up for Mr. Martin Peterson.
I'm not doing the same run as Ken did, but something similar. How are you guys today?
Good.
Fine? Bear with me, I got an accent. I'm from Denmark. I can't help it. That's just the way I'm built. Okay? How many was here last year when I did the presentation in July? Good. Almost half of you. Enjoyed it?
Very good, yeah.
Want to go above that today or beyond that today? Would that be nice?
Sure.
Awesome. So, which one am I using, Glenn? That one or that? Just that one?
Just that one.
All
Yep.
right, I'm just going to move this a bit. Okay.
But if you want to sing on that one, you can. Just let me know.
Then people will leave if I start singing, that's for sure. So first of all, my name is Martin Castor. Giant in the field, thank you. Am I that fat? Okay. Well, I just enjoy what I do. I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars training with everyone in this business, trying to figure out how they did stuff. And what's kind of like my thing is decoding what other people do, figuring out what works with quantum physics, quantum mechanics, how does the brain work, and what makes it actually work. That's basically what I'm doing. So Ted called me up and said, well, I know you're going to be in Scottsdale for April and May. Would you want to come and do something again? And I thought, all right, so how are we going to top the thing we did last year? So I have a process, protocol, technique I call the collapse technique. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So first of all, I want to know a little bit about you guys. Because since you're here, I kind of guess you want to learn something new, correct?
Yes.
And you all love it and enjoy hypnosis? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you want to go further or just want to stick with what you know already? No. You know, there's no, you know, people aim for balance. It's kind of like, oh, when I get the perfect balance, it's going to be all right, I'm going to do well. I don't believe that. Because if you're in balance, there's no progress. There's no learning. There's just you being you, like floating in the air. So I love the term perfect imbalance. Because if you've got perfect imbalance, you're still in some sort of balance, but you can still move, and you can still learn, you can still do more stuff than you already thought was possible, right? So, short story, even shorter. The collapse technique is something I kind of figured out was working really well with clients that had severe issues about traumas, past episodes in their life, and people claim this is really difficult because if it's a trauma, you really have to dig deep and you have to do all sorts of processes. And if you ask people around the world, well, let's do pot therapy, let's do this, let's do that, and just put everything on top of each other and see what happens, right? But my idea was, so how fast is a trauma created, really? How fast? That's it. And we get them all the time, right? So, and if you're in the right mindset, you'll keep activating that again and again and again and again. And if you have a really bad feeling or bad state of mind, for how long does that really last? Do you guys know? For how long does a state of feeling, emotion last in your brain? Ken, what's the answer?
About 90 seconds.
90 seconds, that's it. So if you have like a really bad morning, you get out of bed and you're kind of like, ow, my foot. Shitty day, huh? That will peak for 17 seconds max, even less than that. And it will last for almost 90 seconds. And what happens next is, if that's the first thing you do that day, what do you think will happen next? What are you focused on? Where attention goes, energy flows, right? So next thing, you're going to bump your elbows or something, you're not going to put on your socks right, or something else is going to happen, you miss the call, your traffic is really bad because that's all you focus on, right? So during that whole day, those 90 seconds keep repeating themselves again and again and again with new things because you only focus on that. And that's called normalization. So now you're having a really bad day, huh? And that could be created from trauma, could be created from anything, really. And every time something that's part of that trauma kind of pops up in front of you, here comes the trauma once again. And what happens next is the brain doing kind of like amazing stuff, but it's all the false realities, right? It's all the new ideas, it's all the references, it's all the conscious thoughts about this could happen also, what if this went wrong, and all of that, and you just apply that to the old trauma, and now the old trauma is something way beyond what it's actually just is. The source of it, it's gone. It's kind of like being swallowed by false realities. So my problem about dealing with traumas in general would be a lot of hypnotherapists ask too many questions about what the client thinks the problem is, and they don't know. The conscious mind don't know. So if we kind of like go along with that, and they say, "Oh, my therapist last week said this, and my mom told me," and all of that, that's a false reality. So if we start working with that, would we actually get to the actual trauma? Would we? No. We're kind of like peeling an onion, but it's a false onion. So we'll never get into depth of that. So I don't trust conscious minds. I said this last year. I love unconscious minds while still being awake, but being present and giving all the right answers. So I'm not dealing or discussing anything with a conscious mind because it doesn't know. It's all reptile brain, right? It's all yes and no's and references and being, analyzing everything. And I don't want that in a session. So if a trauma can be created like this, we should be able to remove it like this also, okay? So this is the interesting part. So what do we need to do actually? Here's a short case story. The first time I ever went to Hypnothoughts Live, like 4 years ago, something like that. I was doing a pre-conference training with Scott Sandlin. Kind of invited me and said, "Do you want to be co-teacher?" And said, "Oh, yeah, okay, so for how much?" Maybe a couple of hours. It turned out to be 3 days, but it was awesome anyway, right? And there was this guy in the room that every time a phone rang or somebody got a text or something like that, he totally did like that. This is old trauma, right? This is PTSD. And remember, there's no D in PTSD. It's not a disorder. It's just a mechanism, okay? And that's the problem with science today, that we call it a disorder. So now we got a label. I got a disorder. No way to fix me. Wrong, okay? So what happened was, I kind of saw that, and he was really being, afraid actually. He was scared, and he was in shock every time it happened, and he kind of stood up like, "Everybody, could you please turn off your phones, or at least have it on, vibrate or whatever, no sound, please." And I asked him, "So is that something you want to, talk about? Do you want to, go ahead and deal with it?" He said, No, because you're not just going to be one of hundreds who tried that. I said, "Well, the difference would be I'm not trying, I'm doing. So do you want to do it or do you want to try it? Because if you're just going to try it, I'm not going to do it for you." Right? He was like, "Huh? What just happened, right?" And he said, "Well, at least not today." No problem, because I just planted a seed, right, within his brain. So the day after, he came up like, "I've been thinking about it. What could go wrong?" True, what could go wrong? So Danny, that was the name. He used to work in the U.S. military, and he was working in Iraq, and he had a job making sure that all the planes got down to the ground, and he was kind of like the leader of the tower at that point. So if the phone was ringing, he needed to answer it because this was a life or death situation. So in one heated moment, there was chaos because a plane was coming in, and that pilot was about to crash and die, and the phone started ringing, and he was in a dilemma because what was he supposed to do? On the radio, got the pilot, the phone was ringing, another assignment, another mission, who knows, and he broke down in that moment. Everything got solved though, but it kept echoing within his body. So military tried to help him, no result. Psychiatrists tried to help him with medicine, didn't help because it's just made his brain go numb, right? And he's been, paying hundreds of therapists, all his money, all his savings to kind of like deal with it, but it never really happened. Still got the trauma, okay? Then we did the collapse therapy, and I'll get back to that. Actually, recently, you might notice that Ken and I are good friends, and you might think, where do they get these awesome shirts? Because that's kind of like our thing, right? And we have a competition going on. And we were doing the IHF conference like almost a month ago, a little bit more than that actually. And I was doing like my script killing hypnosis demo or talk at the conference. And I said, so anybody want to do a demo? And everybody was looking at one lady in the room. And she's totally awesome. But she has the reputation of scaring people because she's a psychiatrist. Awesome. So I thought, so how are we going to do this? And I actually thought the collapse therapy because I said, so is there anything in your past that you kind of like want to work on? And she said, yep, I definitely want to do that. But I'm not going to mention anything. And I think most therapists will think, so if I don't know kind of like the theme or anything like that, it's going to be a problem, right? Not to me. So we actually went through it. We went a couple of rounds. And I was looking at the audience. I knew what I was doing. And I looked at the audience. They went like, oh, she's going to break your neck. Right? That was kind of like the feedback I got. Because they didn't know that she was actually in the middle of a progress. And it looked like she was just walking around in circles. But it was just about the moment where I'm going to push her over the edge. And she had a profound moment. And you might think, so how is this really possible, huh? Because would it be possible to actually work with trauma without knowing anything about the theme? Yep, true. Because they know it. The conscious mind thinks it knows it, but the unconscious knows everything. The date, the time, what kind of flowery smell there was part of it, what colors there was most dominant, all of it, because it's all triggers right now. And what if you could actually play with a tool, like a technique, that will take maybe 15, 20 minutes. And it will leave everything in the past, not like boxing it away or put it into a safe like it's Pandora's box in 5 years from now and it's going to blow up like a volcano. No, but actually recognize and accept all the incidents that were until now. And kind of pick up all the resources. Wouldn't that be nice? Seems like it's kind of impossible, doesn't it? What if it is actually possible to do in very few steps that might seem from the outside like, whoa, this is a lot of steps, but it's all about repeating something very basic and simple. And it covers a lot of NLP techniques, a lot of hypnotic techniques, and a lot of psychological processes at the same time, but it's still plain simple. And you know what? There's no script. And you know what's even better? It's a dialogue. Everything the client brings to the table, you use it with them and against them. It's pretty awesome, isn't it? So, what if we could actually do this right now? Because I promise you, I know that some of you is actually getting the chills or maybe even just feel the kind of tingly thing in your fingertips, thinking, Martin, please let me know, how do you do it, right? Yes? You know, this is no, right? And this is yes. And unconsciously, most of you went like, yeah. So that means you want to know, right? Mm-hmm. So I want to show you. I'm kind of like the guy who's not holding anything back, so I just want to show you guys how to do it. So we need someone. We need someone up here. And it could be anything, really. And you might feel like, well, we tried this before, but nothing really happened. It could be anything from the past, anything at all. So just raise your hands. The couple, you and you. So how bad do you think your problem is?
Pretty bad.
Pretty bad?
Live with it.
Who can live with a problem? What kind of acceptance is that? So, but you think it's pretty bad, right? So from a scale from 1 to 10, where 1 is like, bring it, and 10 is like, I don't want to do it. Where do you feel that is right now? The problem.
I don't want to.
Sorry?
I want it out of my life.
Okay, but how bad do you think the problem is from a scale from 1 to 10, where 10 is pretty bad?
Yeah.
All the way up there? Interesting. You want to join me? First of all, take a look at me and ask your body, is today the day you're going to do it? There you go. Unconscious answer, huh? Perfect. All right. So what we do right now is just place a couple of chairs. You can pick either one. Either one is better. Oh, you picked the right one. Awesome. You know, that's the chair where change happens. This is just like the me talking chair, but that's the change chair. How did you know that, by the way? Just felt it?
Felt it.
Oh, we're already doing good. We're already doing good. You follow, Cam? Glenn, sorry? You want this out of the way?
Yes, please.
Put it over here.
Okay,
You can
perfect.
start singing if you want, but not until the end where you get the big revelation. You can do opera, whatever. Like, all right? Cool. And your name is?
Ron?
Ron. Hi, Ron. Martin. So, you think you have a problem, right? On trauma. So how far back do you think it goes?
I was probably around 8, 7.
Cool. All right. And you know, since then, there might have been other situations that kind of felt like trauma. It might be something way different. So there's all sorts of things happening since then, right? Cool. So you want to get, change all of that? You want to feel amazing afterwards? Oh, yes. Perfect. All right. And you said from a scale from 1 to 10, this was a 10, right? Makes it even more funny, right? Some therapists will go now like, with that, it's a big an issue, right? So what if we could get it all the way down to 2, maybe? What about 1? What about... right, even better, huh? All right, so first thing I want to know before we do anything that has to do with hypnosis, because I'm not going to do a proper induction, but you will see things, he's not hearing it, or seeing anything right now. You will see trance happening anyway. You didn't hear that, right? Good. So what's going to happen right now is I want you to briefly talk about a situation that happened recently where you felt at least neutral. We didn't think about any traumas, anything like that, but just felt pretty okay. Could be yesterday, could be earlier today. Just a brief moment. Because you know there's moments where you're actually going to think about the trauma, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. So which one is the better one? The most recent one.
Just, kind of vegging on the couch.
Was that today?
Yesterday.
All right, yesterday. Just being on the couch, lying down,
Lying down.
enjoying life. And you can close your eyes if you want to, but if you kind of like go inside and feel what you're feeling right there, see what you're seeing from your inner eye. So what do you notice being on the couch right there? Feeling neutral, that is. You.
Just relaxed.
Relaxed.
No cares.
Relaxed, no cares. So in spite of everything that happened in the past, you felt relaxed, no cares. That's interesting, isn't it? Because it's a 10 problem. Yeah. So you got confused now because your body didn't really want to answer that with that kind of like power behind it saying, oh, it's a 10 still, but something happened, right? Okay, good. We're still doing good. So what I want you to do right now is, we got that moment, the most recent one. I want you to play around with this idea because you might have forgotten something that actually happened way before that first trauma, where you actually felt pretty good, like almost neutral, again, before anything happened in your life or really started to, feel like traumatic moments or challenges, anything like that. So I wonder how your unconscious will find that moment and what is the first number that pops up as an age. From way back. We just have a brief moment feeling neutral, maybe playing around, who knows. Somewhere 3, 4-ish, 5-ish, something like that. Yeah, you got it. So how old are you right there? 5. And what's happening?
Walking home from school.
Walking home from school. How do you feel in that neutral moment?
Just having fun.
Having fun. Was it a fun day in school?
Yeah.
Enjoying the weather?
Yeah.
Yeah? How's the weather, by the way?
Nice. It's not too cold, not too hot.
Nice and not too cold. So what I wanted to do right now, Lauren, first of all, tell me, did you have kind of like a nickname or anything like that way back? So if somebody called your name, would be something different than Ron, or is Ron perfectly okay?
Ron.
Ron, okay. So right there, Ron, think about this. If you consider everything that's waiting for you in your future at the age of 5, all the way up until the moment where you're actually having this conversation with me, everything that waits for you, how eager would you be to move into that future and just deal with it? 10, that's a problem. 1 is like, bring it. How does that feel right now? What is the first number that pops up?
Probably
8 is pretty resistant, isn't it? It came from a 10 already. Now it's 8. That's how you look at it, right? Okay. So just zoom all the way to the moment recently on the couch, feeling relaxed, no cares in the world. What I want you to do right now, Ron, is kind of like hover out of that moment and bring those resources with you. Relaxed, no cares in the world. And if you have like a bag or anything like that, imagine just put it down to that bag. Like extra, yeah, that's right, extra resources. What you want it to do right now is kind of like travel through time, and as the adult you, go all the way back and visit Ron, 5 years old, on his way home from school, and just watch from a distance. Make sure he notices you. No interaction yet. It's kind of like, hey, it's me, adult Ron. I want to share something with you. Okay? So, do you get his attention yet? Okay. Is he a little bit resistant or on a distance?
a little bit.
Okay. So, I want you to actually share what you know with him. Telling him something like this. In spite of everything that's going to happen in your future, I just had this moment where I felt relaxed, with no care, in spite of everything that happened, and it felt good. Just tell him that. Because he knows that you're him and he's you. He might be even, not trusting it fully, but something is happening, right? How does he accept that kind of information?
Kind of skeptical, but
Of course he's skeptical. That's the adult him saying weird stuff to him, right? Because he knows what's waiting. So I want to do something magic for me, Ron. I'm going to count from 3 to 1. On the count of 1, you just step inside of Ron, 5 years old, just become him for a moment and feel how that feels. Would that be okay? All right. 3, take your time. 2, take a deep breath. 1. Hey, Ron. What's happening? On your way home from school, is it a long walk?
miles.
A mile or so. And just look at that adult you right now. He just said some stuff about being relaxed, not have a care in the world, in spite of everything that you know that's waiting for you. How does that make you feel?
Good.
Good. In which way? How do you know?
Just knowing that it'll be okay. Just
It'll be okay.
everything will work out.
Everything will work out. So everything will work out. It's going to be okay. Feeling relaxed. No care in the world. Just bring all of that inside right now. Just like that. Cool. A little smile and a little bit of laugh. That's awesome. So Ron, I want you to do something for me right now. I want you to look at your future right now, waiting for you. And to begin with, you said it was a 10 on the scale of I'm not going to do that. Then you said it was an 8. And when you look at your future waiting for you right now, everything that you know that's going to happen, but you feel relaxed and no care in the world, it's going to be all right. What number pops up right now? Thinking about that future. 5. Awesome. So what I want you to do right now is just imagine, in just a moment, jumping through your future. One leg at a time, just like you're doing, avoid the ground, jumping from one rock to the next one. And every time you put your foot down, it's going to be colors, it's going to be trees and flowers. And every time you meet anything that could be a resistance from a past situation, just going to be knocked over. And you'll pick up all the resources, all the powers, and everything else will just disappear because you know what's going to happen anyway, and you feel good and relaxed with no care in the world. Would that be okay? All right, so just go. Just go. And imagine you're jumping from one rock to the next one, just going through it, and keep your pace, keep your tempo, maybe even go faster and faster and faster, and it feels good just to knock it over, right? It might be right in your face, just knock it over just like that, all the way up until the moment where you were lying on your couch yesterday feeling relaxed with no care in the world. When you're there, just nod your head. Awesome. So I want to ask you a couple of questions. Lying on the couch, feeling relaxed, with no care in the world, but something's changed. Something happened. What else do you feel right now beyond just relaxing, no care in the world? Confident. What else?
Everything's gonna be okay.
Everything is going to be okay. Just push it all out there. Let me know if there's any more. It might just be it for now. Confident, relaxed, no care in the world, everything's going to be okay. How do you feel?
Tingly.
Tingly, that's the new sensation. Isn't that awesome? In spite of everything that happened, Ron, I feel tingly awesome. So, take all of that, put it into the bag, and start traveling all the way back until that moment where you can see Ron on his way home from school, that 1 mile walk. But I want you to change something. Because the last time you only talked to him, right? This time, I want you to show him pictures of you, how you changed, how you felt yesterday, feeling tingly, confident. Everything's going to be all right, relaxed, no care in the world. I want you to show him pictures of how that looked in spite of everything that happened in the past. Just show him now. Does he trust you more now? Exactly. Is he getting any closer? So what's happening right now with him watching all those images?
Kind of laughing.
Kind of laughing,
Being relaxed.
relaxed. It's pretty awesome. So on the count of 1, I want you to step inside of Ron, 5 years old, and just suck it all up as it comes. All those extra resources. 3, 2, take a deep breath. 1. Hey Ron, how are you doing right now?
Good.
Perfect. So, tingly, huh? Confident. No care in the world, relaxed, it's all going to be okay. How does that feel?
Good.
Good, it's kind of like a new sensation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep, it is. Maybe even makes you laugh a little bit. Considering everything that's waiting for you in the future, that feels good, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yes, it does. So thinking about the future right now, you came from 10 to an 8 to a 5. Where is it right now? With all those things inside, confident, tingly, no care in the world, relaxed. It's all going to be okay. Where has that number gone to now?
2.
2. Awesome. Feels pretty good, doesn't it? So what I want you to do right now, because there's a change already, you're not going to jump from one rock to the next one. I'm going to put you inside a train, like one of those massive ones that goes through Alaska. You know, they're just going to go through all that snow and ice, with power, with big machines behind it, and nothing going to stop that train, is it? And you could be right in the front, just plowing through everything. So if there's anything left that might be able to stop you, this train will still go forward. Just go ahead and do that now. From then, all the way up to the moment lying on the couch yesterday, you just go through it all, see all the colors, see everything that's happening, see how it winds in and out from things. If there's anything in front of it, it's going to be smashed right there. Yeah, there you go. Right in front of the train. And just going to pick up all those resources, all those happy moments, all those situations that actually made you who you are right now. All the way up until yesterday, lying in the couch. And when you're there, let me know. Perfect. All right. Recognize the change already, okay? For everyone outside. So, there's a big change right now. So how do you feel right now? Besides relaxed, confident, tingly, no care in the world, everything's going to be all right. What else is there?
Positive attitude.
Positive attitude.
Can do it.
Can do it.
Will do it.
Will do it. You're like a machine. Huh?
Yep.
Yep. That's awesome. So, is there anything else but that? Can do it, will do it? Positive attitude? Is that it for now? It's pretty awesome, by the way.
Willing to accept it and
Willing to accept and do it. It's really awesome. Put all of that down into the bag right now. Now let's do one final trip back in time. Move all the way back. And this time, Ron, don't just tell him. Don't just show him. Put him on your lap and pull him inside of that experience of all those amazing things so he can feel it and he can be there with you. Unite the forces right now. That's a nice moment, isn't it? So what's happening right now? How is he feeling?
he's laughing
He is laughing.
and enjoying it.
Of course he's enjoying it. How do you feel?
Feel good.
Feel good. And you know what's going to happen on that count of one, right? You're going to become him. One last time. 3, 2, deep breath. Good job, Ron. 1. Hey, Ron. You just got to feel it and explore it, huh?
Yes.
How does that make you feel?
Good.
Good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, all tingly, all relaxed, gonna do well. You're gonna do it, accept it, and all of that. That's amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
And when you look at that future right now, came all the way down to 2. Where has it gone now? Yeah, that's right. You didn't expect that, did you?
It's gone.
It's gone, isn't it? I want you really to try and see if you can find anything, but you just feel amazing at the same time, don't you?
Yeah.
So let's do this one last time. Inside of a rocket, Ron. How amazing would that be? Just blast through it all. On my go, just do that. One last round. Have everything just dissolve in front of you. Only positive attitude. Only relaxation. Everything's going to be all right. And pick up the last pieces in the puzzle that makes you whole and complete. Just go now. Just feel that. Feel that acceleration. Yeah, there you go. All the way through it. And your conscious mind might go, well, I think there's something left, and just go through that too. Blast it. Yeah, there you go. That's kind of funny, isn't it? Perfect. All the way up until the moment you were lying on your couch yesterday. Just nod your head when you're there. That's right. But we're not going to stop here, Ron. Go forward into your future. Tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, with all those resources, and just pause for a moment. I'll give you the biggest challenge ever, but with all those resources, I know you can do it. I want you to try and think about everything that could make you angry, sad, provoked, anything that you know was an issue before you two of us met each other. Everything that could make you feeling like that. Maybe even related to whatever you thought your trauma was. Imagine everything in front of you stacked on top of each other, but you feel confident. You feel relaxed. You have a positive attitude. You can just grab all the goodies inside of that and just leave the rest, can't you? So how does that feel?
Good.
Good. What else is happening right now? Because you didn't expect this to happen, did you? Because this is everything that you thought was a problem 1 hour ago. It's right there. And you just pick up the goodies. How do you feel?
Good.
Feel good, don't you? And confident. So you could try and think about the trauma right now that you never even mentioned. And how good do you feel right now? Yeah, because you did it already, didn't you? And your conscious mind might try and reach out and try to find it, but the only thing you see will be all the goodies. Confidence, relaxation, that's right. Positive attitude. You can do it. You already did it. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? So Ron, in your own time, I want you to count yourself up. Only in the right amount of time that you know. And when you open your eyes, take a deep breath, and you will feel totally reconnected with your body, but all those new resources, and you can feel them. You might even try not to smile, but either now, on the way down to your chair, that smile will kind of surprise you, because that's how good it feels. So just in your own time. Good job. Whoa. How do you feel?
Good.
Good. Did you expect that?
No.
Not at all. And your problem was a 10, right? You could try and find it now. What's happening?
All that positive attitude. Just like that.
Who can do it?
I can,
Who's got the confidence?
me,
Who has the positive attitude?
definitely.
Who's relaxed right now?
Definitely.
And you know, even better, before you leave this room today, a new thought pops up with a new skill that has been hiding within you for all this time. You'll come and tell me, because that is something that makes you even more awesome. But you will discover it today.
Thank you.
Welcome. In your own time, try not to smile though. Awesome. How much time do you have?
You're doing great, 25.
All right. Wasn't that fun?
Yes.
Did you see the physiological changes as we were moving on?
Yes.
And to be honest, 30 minutes ago, that was a 10, right? And we didn't agree anything that let's surprise people and trick them. You came with a sincere issue, right? And that was a 10. And you feel great right now. Gone. There'll be more resources. Yeah, you can, every time you nod your head, even just take a breath, it's just going to power up just like that. Right? Feels good?
Good.
Cool. All right. How do you like that? Good? Awesome? Yeah? You kind of understand the process? It's 3 rounds. I'm going to build on every round, but it's all about the resources. And his unconscious mind is doing all the work for us. And it's not pretending. Well, he could pretend, but it's still the unconscious. And it will dig out everything we need. There's no defense left. There's no security system trying to, interrupt with what I'm doing, because he feels good. It's inner child, it's unconscious resources, it's everything in one package. And the only thing I have to do is remember 6 steps in it. And when we do 3 rounds, it's 18 steps, but it's kind of like 6 times 3, right? So it's still the same kind of thing. So that's pretty easy. And you thought you had a problem, right? Well, this psychiatrist I was talking about, she had some severe problems from her childhood. And you can kind of imagine what that would be, right? Talking about severe problems. And even though she was a psychiatrist and she had all the opportunity of getting rid of it from colleagues or whatever, she kind of went like all the time, like pushing people away because she didn't want to deal with it. And her attitude, being a client with me, and Ken will verify this, was like, you're not getting me there. It's not going to happen, but I'll be your client, but it's going to blow up. But it did. On the 3rd round, when she went from a 10 to maybe a 9, maybe an 8, it was gone. And she started crying, like releasing stuff with a big smile on her face. And she felt amazing. And she was like afterwards, like, how did you, I feel good. How did you do it? That was one of the most amazing moments, right? She felt it, I felt it, everybody in the room went from, she's going to kill you, to, how did you do that, right? Same process. So I don't care about how much the issue is, how much space it's going to take up in your brain and your body, how it's related, how it all functions or relates to each other, doesn't matter. As long as my client is willing to do a change. And I want to ask you a question, Ron. What was the peak moment in that whole experience where you felt like something's going to happen today? When was that? It's different from client to client, but yeah?
The beginning of the third round.
Beginning of the third round. You know there was no turning back at that point, right? And we saw the change, we saw the smile, it happened. You saw all the fiddling with his fingers to begin with. What's conscious mind go like, I don't like this, because I'm going to leave something behind. And it's all good, right? And then, relaxed. If it's not the second round, it's the third round. You know what happens if we still got a couple of numbers left and we feel like we can do even better? Do the rocket again, and give it some more fuel and some more power and go to the freaking moon, right? And then into the future and test it. And it's pretty bold, I know this. So what I did with you, Ron, was actually I asked you to bring everything you thought was a problem in your past, all of them, stack them on top of each other and face them. And usually, and you can disagree or agree with this, I would guess that just one of them from your past would have made kind of like a big issue or be kind of like a challenge if we talked about that, prior to the actual sequence, correct? But now it was all of them. And you felt confident. You felt relaxed. You're going to do it. All of them. You can try and find them again, but it's gone. Look at that smile. It's awesome, isn't it? So, and this is what you call repeating the suggestions. I'm just saying, right? So, empowering him up even more. Okay, cool.
I really like the technique for not empowering the event or having to talk about it.
We don't need, it already happened, so why talk about it?
Exactly.
Because that would be too conscious mind going, I wonder what we could do with this one, right? It is. Or using all our references, well, my doctor said, well, my therapist said, and I read this in a book. Doesn't matter. Because it's all about what's inside of my client. So I'm just asking the questions. He got all the golden nuggets. I don't even have to look for them. I'm just asking the right question. That's basically it. And you might think, what happened to Danny? Danny, my guy from the military. Go veterans, right? And, well, he has one issue today. It's still the phone. But he's not having the issue. His wife is having the issue because he doesn't care about phones anymore. He doesn't. And Danny is our good friend, Mariana and I, every time we get to Vegas, he's like, I can pick you up anywhere. You can borrow my car. You, come live at my house. You can do everything. I owe you my life. And he's the sweetest person. And he got his life back. And there's no D in PTSD. Well, there's no PTS left in Danny anymore because he solved it. And you know how much time it took? 16 minutes. And it's on video on one of my many forums, I think. And he just made that change, and he was surprised because he didn't expect that. He did not expect that, but he was willing to participate, just as you were. And that's the only thing it takes. So back to the conversation between Ken and the questions that came from over here. Should you ever deal with a client who doesn't want a session? No, not at all. They need to have the urge for some kind of change. It might be teeny tiny, but they need to want it just a little bit. Otherwise, I'm not in the persuasion business. So I need people who actually expect something from me. I would actually go like this. I would rather raise my prices and make people think, well, if I'm paying for that guy, I have this high expectations. Because you know what? I will succeed anyway, and they will have an even greater outcome. And I'm earning more money. And I can spend less time dealing with clients and more time, producing new ideas. So that's basically how I do my stuff. So that's basically it, how we do the collapse technique. And you might be wondering, so what is all the info in it? Well, I'll make sure, if Mariana and I get you guys emails afterwards, business card, or just you can put it on my iPad, something like that. I'll make sure, just for fun, because everything that we do has to be funny. Not in a funny way, but we have to have fun with it, even though we might be very serious. But we have to have fun with it. Otherwise, we kind of loosen the energy, right? So what if you guys got access to another demo, maybe even with the psychiatrist? Maybe even another demo where I did something, who was it that actually saw me? That was you. I was doing the live virtual conference 2 weeks ago, ACHE, AHC, was it? Yeah, there you go. About the dream self technique and a small induction I call the CERI that everyone can do that will activate all your senses like that, and you will have somebody going to good, profound, therapeutical trance, and it varies. Not the 32 levels of trance. You have to be there, have to do the iFringe test. Well, if they're responding and there's feedback, then the perfect trance. All right? Forget all the rest. I will give this to everyone for free. All right? Access to that. But I need your email to do it. I'll just send it out like that, okay? Yeah? So besides that, yeah.
Go ahead.
You really want to ask a question, don't you? Yeah, there you go. You can ask it now.
I was actually just going to tell you that you could send it to the secretary here.
Even better, maybe. Yeah, we'll do something like that. No problem. Either way, works better. Okay? So, you might have questions, huh? Or did you all fall asleep? Sorry, some people go like that, looking at the ceiling like I was up there, but I'm not. I'm right here in front of you. Any questions so far? Yeah, Jeanette.
Okay, I was just trying to remember how you phrased it, because you don't use any negative.
Ooh, all the scripting. Interesting.
So anyway, because I want to let go of that, but it's like I'm always like trying to get rid of the negative and making things positive. So when he did the rocket ride through, when he did the train ride through, he just plowed through everything?
Everything that happens.
Everything that happened.
And there might be those, bad moments, but you will pick up all the resources and the rest will just disappear, just like that.
Yeah.
And the rest meaning all the bad stuff. But if I mention the bad stuff again and again and again, what do my client think about? Bad stuff, right? So all the rest disappears, but you'll pick up all the resources. So you might have noticed that my language is pretty, well constructed, that I'm only focusing on about everything can actually give my client a better experience and actually will leave them afterwards like feeling great. So that's basically what I'm looking for, right? So, it requires some training because this world is kind of teaching us to behave bad and use bad language and focus on all the bad stuff. And our brains are constructed that way anyway. It's survival, 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 right? So if we have kind of a pessimistic thought, that would be 80% of every thought, negative. It's because of survival, right? If you're chasing a mammoth, with a spear or whatever, you will have to think what happens if it turns around and chases me, right? So that's basically it. And we've been like that since, the very beginning of evolution because it's all about survival. But since we are, evolved even more right now, we're still just animals. I'm not sure if you know this, but we are, right? And we call ourselves as, the clever ones. Yeah, we don't know nothing. But anyway, we have the power to change our opinions and stuff, and we have the power to learn. So why not use those powers? We even got a guy here called Powers. So why not do it, right? So it's your choice. You can look at stuff thinking, I don't want that, it looks bad. I don't feel like doing it. I feel bad already. Oh, I hate that color. I go, it's kind of interesting because I wonder what's inside of that. Because I can take whatever I need, whatever I feel is kind of inspiring, and I can leave all the rest. Because that's basically what we're able to do in every single freaking moment. Sorry, but it is. So I wonder what you're thinking about right now. Are you going to pick up the good stuff, or are you just going to go look at all the bad stuff? Good stuff, huh? Oh, even more nodding right now, so we're getting somewhere. Cool. It's a riot. No. Okay? Yeah, first.
I'm not a doctor.
Me neither.
Do you work with, I'm supposed to say this word.
Say it.
Diseases, and just helping people to move through that.
So the question is, am I working with people with diseases or labels or conditions?
Right, yeah.
Well, depending on, there's a lot of things we have to be aware of right now. So if I'm in the US, depending on which state I'm in. If I'm in Europe, depending on which country I'm in. Because if they're in some kind of program with doctors in it, I would need their approval because all my ethics is kind of dictating that's what I need. even though I might know I could do better, because, you know, doctors are pretty good at making people healthier, huh? Not. Okay. Some are, but some are not. So definitely I will go check for that, and then trust my client. And if they're out of any program, if they're using medicine where they can still connect with emotions and still have a dialogue with eye contact for more than a couple of minutes, it's good to go. If they're not able to express their emotional state of mind or feelings, or if they're not able to keep eye contact and stay in the dialogue with, you know, more than 30 seconds, I'm not going to work with them, because there's not going to happen anything throughout the whole session. They're just going to stay locked and frozen in that moment. So it requires that people are kind of like being able to use the all full senses. So ethics is really important. Yeah, did that answer your question? Awesome.
Martin, I was very curious as to your own evolution. How did you become so marvelous at what you do? Seriously, we're all trained a little bit differently. So I was curious, how was your evolution to doing what you're doing?
I got a weird brain. I think that's the answer to it, really. And I'm kind of like, you know, when I started way back 20 years ago, I'm turning 42 right now. I just wanted to learn from the best, or at least who I thought was the best. And I was living a life where I judged people. I wasn't really, you know, good to my surroundings or anything like that. I was just an asshole, really. So if I felt like, oh, those people can't learn me and teach me anything, that was kind of like my whole expression, my whole, you know, everything that glowed out for me was like, I hate you. And I thought there was no more for me to learn. That was wrong, because, you know, only, you know, true masters create new masters, right? And if I feel like it's not possible for me to learn anything new, I should fall over and die, because my progress stopped. That would be the balance happening, right? So the kind of thing that I'm doing right now, I want to learn from everyone, because everybody got an idea, a philosophy. I want to know the philosophy. What is a total turnoff for me, though, would be all the classes I went to where I'm like the really annoying student, because I ask questions, like a lot of questions, because I want to know why it works. I want to know why, if my teacher tells me to do this instead of that, I want to know why this is the better option. And I want to prove by either case stories or science or anything like that. If they go, well, it's in the book, so you can read the book and then understand why, that's not good enough. I want to be trained by people who can actually just stand like me right now and do demo of whatever, so I get it. Because that would be the true craftsmanship of the business we're in, right? So I don't trust books, because books are words, and that's why I'm not using books with words in my sessions. I want to use dialogue. And if it's just an idea, philosophy, and it kind of like, I get the green light going in my mind, I want to explore that. And you can ask my wife, she knows how much I'm being really nerdy and geeky about stuff. I want to explore it, I want to test it out, and usually when I teach something, it's been tested on at least 200, 300 people before I publish it, because I want to make sure I know it. And if there's any questions I cannot answer, it's because I didn't do my work good enough. So that's what I want to bring into it. So it's kind of like, I'm playing with stuff. I want to have fun doing it.
It's creative.
It's my process. And you know, I hit my head quite severely a few years ago, and I got like, what do you call it? You're not, disability, that's all the way up to, how much is it? It was, on the papers it was 30-something%, but insurance-wise it was only 13. And so I can, you know, Marianne can say, well, will you go shop, you know, milk or something? I will go to the supermarket thinking, how did I get here, and what am I supposed to do? I can't remember it. But everything that relates to my work, for some weird reason, I see everything in pictures and I know all of it. You know, I'm a certified trainer for more than 7 organizations, and I have more than 11, 12 basic programs. I have 30-something add-on, like workshops, and I have 4 or 5 master classes. Ask me anything, I can pull it up just like that. So that's my brain. But, you know, it's hard work getting there, and maybe because I hit my head, I don't know. So don't go back home and, you know, throw your face at the sidewalk, because it won't help anything. It's always been like that. I just got a good feeling for stuff, and if I feel like it, I'm doing it, and that helps me a lot, because I want to have fun with people. It has to be a creative process. So what's really the thing, this might even be my best answer. What's really the thing for me is I want to be able to look at someone and they're feeling stuck, right? And I have the feeling there's something inside of you that you haven't noticed yet, and I want to help you find it. That's the urge. That's my drive. I want to do that. Because it's inside. Because if they're looking for it, they're looking for it in all the wrong places because it's inside. I want to help do that. That's my drive in everything that I do. Right? You're welcome. Anyone else? Wow.
I do.
Are you kind of just soaking it up and processing it, or what's happening?
Processing.
Processing. Okay.
Yes, but I was going to ask you, how's hypnosis seen in your country and all around?
Well, very dominated by doctors, and it's kind of like it's still alternative and all of that, and you have to be spiritual to go to a hypnotherapist. Not at all. More and more doctors now is kind of like referring people to the professionals, but the issue would be there's too many of academies that's not training people well, and that's a problem. So I hope we can create awareness. That's why I enjoy, all over the world, getting to meetings like this and inspire even more and make sure that you guys know that you're awesome and you can do better than you're already doing, because clients need to have this experience, because it's not just mumbo jumbo, right? This is pure work that has been happening for thousands of years, and doctors kind of like did an overhaul and get in front of us saying, well, we know better because we got Freud and all of those people, and we got all the Asian techniques and stuff like that. Well, the combo is awesome, but saying one thing is better than the other, that would be wrong. And everybody who says that is wrong. It's the combo. And let's say all of you inside this room have the same issue. You're not having the same issue. And there will be like 20 different ways of dealing with that, because you're all special in your own kind of way. So ethics all over the world needs to be the same. It's not. Standards all over the world needs to be the same, but it's not. And it's very different. We went to Greenland last year, 2 years ago, to do like a hypnosis, covert hypnosis show, mentalism, stuff like that, just to play with people. It seemed like it was only the Danish people who actually got there, because all the people from Greenland thought it was like doing exorcisms and witchcraft and all of that, and they truly believe it. If you go to Norway, it's illegal to perform hypnosis in public unless you do a 10-minute informational talk before you do it. They just recently changed that law. You know how old that law would be? Back to the 1700s and 30-something.
Oh my gosh.
So that's going to work out well in 2017, huh? So, but it's kind of like that in most European countries. All the laws are so old, and we have so much new stuff happening. Look at hypnosis 10 years ago. Right? A lot of it. Well, there was definitely pioneers, and all of you, including myself, who was involved with hypnosis, felt like we're doing pretty good 10 years ago. But now, we can do even better, because there's so many things happening. So the only thing I'm kind of looking out for is making sure I will follow the evolution of communication and language, because that's the difference. Yep. Yeah? Did I answer it? Awesome.
You facilitated the demonstration. I guess my question would be, how does this work using self-hypnosis, or can it work? What you just
I wouldn't do this using self-hypnosis, because you need somebody to push you even further. And you need someone to kind of repeat everything that pops out of your mind when you say it openly. So this kind of process is not for... I wouldn't say actually a lot of therapy is not being well facilitated through self-hypnosis, because you will only be able to push yourself until a certain extent. Then your conscious mind will go, oh, we don't go there. And we go all Bob Newhart, stop it, therapy in our minds. And that's not what we're supposed to do. But for enhancing your mind or empowering, past work or whatever, perfect, right? And if it's kind of like underneath the surface kind of stuff, perfect. If you've got a good release technique, Sedona technique, or anything else like that, awesome. But for therapy like this, I would say it needs to be one-on-one. But it could be done like this. It could be done through video. These days, everything can be done through video as long as you've got the safety with it.
still makes that connection?
Yeah, I would say so. Half of my clients, well, not half, but one quarter maybe is through either Zoom or Skype. And I have some standards. There has to be a webcam. I need to see the whole body. And we have to create some processes if the connection is being lost. We have to do that because that's safety. But otherwise than that, it works. I would say so. My good friend Steve Rain, all his clients right now is online. And he's doing really well. So it's possible. John Overif, everything that he does is by the phone. He doesn't even see people. It's by the phone. Because he's all about the linguistics. That's pretty awesome. I just want to see people. That's me, because everything that Ron was doing, you guys saw sometimes I pointed and said, that's a change, that's a physiological change, and it means something. So I'm gonna jump on that right away and shake and say, you did the change right now, enjoy it, it happened. So yeah, I want to see people, definitely. So self-hypnosis for this, wouldn't go there, but for one-on-one, all right, cool, awesome. Let's scan the room. Michael.
So you've got some other products up there. Do you sell those things, or?
Thank you for noticing.
just like we rehearsed.
Yeah, this is typical me. I always bring all my, sorry for my bad language, right? I always bring all my shit with me. And every time I'm doing something like this, I forget half of it at my hotel. That's it. I brought 2 cameras, but I only brought one. The one I brought is not working right now. So we got Glenn. Thank you, Glenn. And by the way, Glenn and Lynette was actually my students like second last weekend,
Yes.
doing the Soul Key.
Yes.
Awesome.
And I've had 2 amazing sessions the very week after. It was like incredible.
Wow, it's all worth it then.